Vin Scully, along with Ray Scott, ready to bring you all the action of the 7th and deciding game of the 1965 World Series. This game is being sent your way by the Gillette Safety Razor Company and Chrysler Corporation, who also bring you exclusively on NBC such outstanding sports events as the All-Star Baseball Game, NCAA Football, and the 1966 Rose Bowl game to say thank you for using their products. This game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is similarly prohibited unless authorized in writing by the Commissioner. Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, the scene of the final game of the 1965 World Series. To refresh your memory, the dimensions: 344 down the left field line, falling away to 365 in left center, 430 to dead center. A symmetrical ballpark as far as the power alleys are concerned. It goes to 365 in right center, and then down the right field line, favoring a left-hand batter by 10 feet, 330. The field is in excellent condition, the Marine Corps Color Guard assuming their places in center field. Bloomington, Minnesota, and the nearby area, hit by an electrical storm early this morning. In the wee small hours, it poured in Minnesota, but it gave way to bright blue skies, and it looks like weather will not be a problem. The big guessing game is over. Sandy Koufax is the Dodger pitcher. Jim Cott for Minnesota. And to find out manager Walter Alston's reasoning and why he decided on Koufax, here's what the manager had to say.
First of all, I think this is one of the toughest decisions I've had to make all year, in the choice between Drysdale and Koufax. I finally decided on Koufax for the simple reason that I think that this club, the Twins, are a little more susceptible to left-handed pitching than they are right-handed. And the fact that I've got Drysdale in the bullpen, if they put their their right-hand hitters in there, and I do have to make a switch, I've made them commit themselves again to go to the left-handed side, and I've still got Peronowski ready to go in case they make the second switch.
You are looking now at the Dodger bullpen contingent and also the big left-hander Jimmy Cott, 18-game winner in the American League. And Cott is 1-1 in this 1965 World Series. For the 18th time in 62 World Series, we go to a 7th game. And to refresh your memory on some of the highlights of yesterday's game, here's a videotape replay. Here is Earl Batty hitting the ground ball to Tracewski. It is kicked for an error. Batty is aboard. No score at the time, if you remember. It was in the 4th inning with nobody out, with Jim Grant and Claude Osteen. And here was Bob Allison with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Osteen later said his spikes caught in the dirt and caused him to make this pitch. And it was hit out 375 feet into the left center field seats. And the Twins were off and running 2-0. Howie Reed was now the relief pitcher. It was the 6th inning with 2 on, and Jim Grant the batter. And Grant hit it up into the seats to make it 5-0 Minnesota. Jim became the first American League pitcher to hit a home run in the World Series since Jim Bagby did it for Cleveland against the Brooklyn Dodgers 45 years ago. Lou Burdett, who wears 33 when he played, homered against the Yankees in 1958. Grant was almost overpowering. The one time he was not was to Ron Fairley, and this was the only Dodger run. It went out at about 400 feet into the Twins' bullpen. But that was yesterday, and this is the big one today. And let's take a look at those fellows whose names are printed boldly on the Dodger lineup card. Shortstop Maury Wills opening it up. Jim Gilliam at third base. There are no surprises today for either team. Willie Davis in center field, hitting third. Lou Johnson in the cleanup spot, as he always is against left-handers. Ron Fairley hitting fifth. Wes Parker at first base. Dick Tracewski playing for the injured Jim Lefevre, who tried to make it today but couldn't do it. The catcher, Johnny Roseborough, and the pitcher, Sandy Koufax. This seventh game of the 1965 World Series being brought to you from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Set for the seventh game of the 1965 World Series. To give you the Minnesota lineup and the first 4.5 innings of the game, the voice of the Minnesota Twins, here's Ray Scott.
Thank you, Vin Scully. The lineup today for the Twins: at shortstop, Zoilo Versalles. In center field, Joe Nosek. In right field, Tony Oliva. Batting fourth and playing third, Harmon Killebrew. Batting fifth is the catcher, Earl Batty. Bob Allison will be in left field. Don Mincher bats seven and plays at first. The second baseman in the number 8 spot is Frank Quillisi, and the pitcher, with a record of 18 wins and 11 losses in World Series play, 1-1, left-hander Jim Kaat. We asked Jim about pitching on just 2 days rest, and this is what he had to say.
I feel that the amount of rest between starts can have a little to do with a pitcher's rhythm, but not quite as much as his natural stuff. There's some days you can go out there with a week's rest and have real good stuff, and other days you can come back with 10 days rest and not have anything at all. As for the importance of the ball game, every pitcher, I think, looks forward to a challenge of this sort, and I'm certainly looking forward to it.
So said Twins left-hander Jim Kaat just a short while ago. The umpiring assignments today will find Ed Hurley of the American League behind the plate, as he was for the first game of the series. At first base, it will be Tony Venzin. John Flaherty is at second. Ed Sudol at third. On the lines, on the left field line, Bob Stewart. On the right field line, Ed Vargo. The temperature is 60 degrees. The wind today is out of the northwest at 9 miles an hour, so it should have no bearing at all on anything hit into the air. And we are indeed very happy, all of us, that the weatherman's forecast of about 36 hours ago was wrong, and his latest forecast apparently will hold true. No rain. Let's review the World Series briefly. The Twins won the opener by a score of 8-2. The second one, 5-1. The two games, the first two played here at this Metropolitan Stadium. And then to Los Angeles, where the Angels won 4-0 behind Osteen, 7-2 with Drysdale. And today's pitchers worked that game. It was won by the Dodgers 7-0. Koufax, the winner, and Kaat, the loser. You can always find a lot of unusual things in a World Series. Yesterday, Jim Grant, for example, became the first pitcher to win 2 games in the series, as he won the game 5-1, and has been reviewed for you a moment ago, became the first American League pitcher to hit a home run in a World Series in 45 years. But there are other interesting facets just as well, and we'll tell you about them in a moment. Right now, we pause briefly for station identification. Twins take the field before this highly partisan Twin crowd. Defensively, the Twins will have at first base today Don Mincher. At second base, Frank Quillisi. And at shortstop, Zoilo Versailles. Harmon Killebrew at third. Bob Allison in left. Joe Nossick in center. Tony Oliva in right. Earl Batty will catch. Jim Cott has yet to make his appearance. The coaches, Danny Ozark at first for the Dodgers. And Preston Gomez is at third. 6 games have been played, and 6 games have been won or lost by the starting pitcher. Every winning pitcher in this series went the distance. No relief pitcher has been involved in a decision, winning or losing. The Dodger leadoff batter is Maury Wills. He has had a great series. He has 11 hits in 26 at-bats. He has knocked in 3 runs. He has stolen 3 bases. In the regular season, Wills hit .286, knocked in 33 runs. Ben?
We asked Maury Wills as captain to reflect the spirit and the feelings of the Dodgers on this 7th game. Here's what he said.
When Tommy Davis broke his leg in May, we knew that it would be a tough season ahead for us. We had to scratch for everything. Regardless of how the game comes out today, I feel that every player on the club should be proud of the season that we have had.
Jim Cott tried to throw a slider several years ago and decided that as a result of throwing the slider that his curveball was less effective. But then he went back to using the slider and now regards it as one of his most effective pitches. Cott was a winner over the Dodgers and Sandy Koufax here at Metropolitan Stadium, a loser to the Dodgers and Koufax at Dodger Stadium. And so today's the pitchers have identical World Series records in 1965, 1 win, 1 loss. Maury Wills against the same sort of an inner defense by the Twins, up at first and third. Ball 1 is inside and low. Wills, with 11 hits, has a World Series record of most hits in a 7-game series within reach. Ball 2. As yesterday, manager Sam Neely has backup pitching ready from the outset. As Cott starts the game, Merritt and Klipstein work in the bullpen. Strike, 2 and 1. Most hits in a 7-game series by Bobby Richardson of the Yankees. As we look at the Twins bullpen, Merritt the left-hander, Klipstein the right-hander. Foul away, 2 and 2. Bobby Richardson has the World Series record of 13 hits in a 7-game series. 2 and 2 to the Dodger leadoff batter, Maury Wills, with Jim Gilliam on deck and Willie Davis below deck. Strike 3. Cott gets a strikeout with the fastball. When Cott defeated the Dodgers 5-1 on a 7-hitter, he walked 1 and struck out 3 and hit a batter. Second time around against the Dodgers, he went just 2 1/3 innings and gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. Here's Gilliam, 4 hits in the series. And there's number 5. Bob Allison grabs it in left, and Gilliam has the first hit of the 7th game. The center fielder, Willie Davis, comes to the plate.
Number 3, center fielder.
6 hits in series play, whereas Gilliam hit .280 in the regular season. Davis hit .238. The Dodger center fielder, like Wills, has stolen 3 bases in the series. Slow curve, strike 1. Fincher holding with Gilliam. Killebrew at the edge of the grass at third. Outfield shaded a bit to the right. The bunt. Shot. Looks at first. Looks at second, rather, and as Gilliam is in at second, Davis is out. Quillisi took the throw at first.
Batting fourth.
So a Dodger runner at second with 2 down. Here is the left fielder, Lou Johnson. He has knocked in 3 runs in the series and has collected 7 hits. No score, Dodger first inning. Gilliam on second, 2 out. Oliva, long way, but he makes the catch and holds on to the ball. So at the end of the first half inning, the score, the Dodgers nothing, the Twins coming to bat. The Dodger defense, Wes Parker at first, Dick Tracewski at second, Maury Wills the shortstop, Jim Gilliam at third. Lou Johnson is the left fielder, Willie Davis in center. Ron Fairley is in right. John Roseboro is the Dodger catcher. And on the mound, 1-1 in World Series play for 1965, Sandy Koufax. The Twin coaches, Jim Lemon at first, Billy Martin at third. Leading off for the Twins, Zoilo Versalles. 7 hits in the series, 4 runs batted in. He has a home run to his credit. He knocked in all 4 runs in the first game of the series. For a ball. Koufax bested Cott 7-0 on a 4-hitter Monday in Los Angeles. Walked 1 and struck out 10. 1-1. Versalles, Nossick, and Oliva, the first 3 in the Twins' batting order. Ball 2, 2-1. No score as the Twins bat in the first inning. Foul back, 2-2. Gilliam has been playing about a step in front of third. With a 2-2 count, the third baseman retreats, as does first baseman Wes Parker. Dodger outfield shaded to the left. Examination of the ball by Ed Hurley. Another foul back. Strikeout. 1 away.
Batting second.
If you're interested, as I am, in how Koufax has done pitching on 2 days rest, at the end of September, he had a 2-day break, worked on October 2nd. He allowed 1 run, struck out 12, walked 4, allowed only 4 hits, and that was against the Braves, and he was a winner. Here's the center fielder, Joe Nossick. Does not get the fastball, strike 1. Nossick 4 for 16 in the series, the Twins center fielder. Fouled back, strike 2. The sun is shining here in Bloomington, Minnesota, but through a bit of a haze right now. Breaking ball low, ball 1, 1-2. In the line of incidental information, Metropolitan Stadium is located equidistant between downtown Minneapolis and downtown St. Paul. Ball 2, 2-2. Wills, the shortstop, out, 2 down.
We asked Johnny Roseboro, who catches Sandy Koufax, what we should look for today. Here's what he said.
If Koufax is right, if he keeps his pitches down, I don't think we'll have any trouble. I think the mound here in this park is a big factor with our ball club. I mean, our ball club's been keeping the ball high because of the flat mound. I know at home that they sort of tailor the mound for our pitcher's needs, which is a sharp breaking mound, which helps him keep the ball down. Now, Sandy's problem, when he has problems, is that he gets the ball up. And if you see the ball, again, above the waist with Sandy, you know that he's in trouble, and he'll start throwing his big curveball.
The curve is in to Oliva for called strike 1. Oliva, 5 hits in the series, including a homer. First inning, Twins batting with 2 out, none on, no score. Fouled away, strike 2. Killebrew in the on-deck circle chatting with Oliva. Killebrew, incidentally, said before one of the games of the series that Koufax was scheduled to pitch, that after having seen Koufax one time in the World Series, that Koufax had about the best curveball he had ever seen from a left-hander. High and inside, ball 1. Ball 2. For the second day running, Oliva is not wearing the glove on the right hand. Trying to recall, I don't think he's thrown a bat yet in World Series play. 3-2. Oliva will undergo surgery for the, I think it's the right term, removal of a bone chip in the middle finger of his right hand shortly after the end of the series. Foul back. The reason for the applause, a gentleman with a fishnet. A la Earl Gillespie caught the foul ball. I think Earl was one of the first of the broadcasters to popularize the grabbing of foul balls. And Harry Carey. Ball 4. That's the third walk in the series by Koufax. 1 in each of his 3 starts. Here is Killebrew. 5 hits, 18 at-bats in the series, including a homer. Ball 3. Killebrew has a look at third base coach Billy Martin. During the regular season, more times than not, a Killebrew was not given the take sign in a similar situation. Ball 4. In regular season play, Koufax was the #1 worker, 336 innings. And to give you an idea as to his remarkable control and ratio of walks versus strikeouts, 71 walks versus 382 strikeouts. Don Drysdale starts to heat up in the Dodger bullpen.
Batting center, number 10, catcher, Earl Batty.
Earl Batty comes to the plate. Earl has had 3 hits in 21 at-bats, including what would ordinarily have been a single, but a ball which skipped away from Dodger outfielders yesterday and went for a triple. 2 on, 2 out, first inning, no score. Dodger outfielders straight away. Strike. Oliva is on second. Killebrew is on first. Strike 2. Ball outside. Koufax struck out Versailles swinging, got Nozick on a bounder to short, and has walked Oliva and Killebrew. Strikeout. So the Twins are retired, and at the end of the first inning, the score is the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing.
We asked Ron Fairley his thoughts just prior to the 7th game of the World Series. Here's what he said.
Well, playing in a World Series is certainly a tremendous thrill for anyone, and now that we're in the 7th ball game, I can look back over the season and say that both clubs have had great years, and regardless of the outcome of the series, I know that personally I'm tremendously proud of this ball club. We've got a bunch of great men on this ball club, and it's certainly a pleasure playing with them. As far as Jim Kaat is concerned, he's a fine pitcher. He's capable of getting you out with ease. Although this year, I'd have to say that in this series, that I'm going to go up there and battle him and give him 100%. There are an awful lot of off days coming up after today.
Ron Fairley taking ball 1 low and outside. Fairley's had an outstanding series. 10 for 25, and my arithmetic tells me that's a 400 batting average. Ball 2. And he also is the leader in runs batted in with 6 in this series. The Dodger right fielder, Ron Fairley. No score as the Dodgers bat in the second. Fairley to be followed by Parker and Trzaskowski. Check swing foul away. Ball 2, strike 1. This 1965 World Series game is being brought to you live and in color, exclusively on NBC. Slicing foul. 2-2. Ben, may I ask you something concerning Don Drysdale, who was warming up in the first inning? Is he a fellow who can get ready in a hurry?
Yes, Ray. The pattern of Koufax and Drysdale are as completely different as the fact that they're left-handed and right-handed. Koufax has trouble in the early innings. Drysdale has trouble in the late innings when he tires.
Earl Batty looking for it. 1 away. As Wes Parker comes to the plate, the Dodger first baseman, I was just thinking a little while ago, and I'm sure that many of you fans have thought about it too. Two teams are in the 7th game of a World Series, and both of them were almost unanimously ignored as far as any of the experts were concerned in picking probable pennant winners in '65. And not only that, both came off 6th place finishes in 1964. So whatever the outcome of this 7th game, these teams have done much better than their greatest fans thought they would. Don Mincher chasing the foul pop-up. 2 down. There is no score here in the top half of the 2nd inning.
Number 44, second baseman.
With 2 out and none on, here is Dick Trzaskowski. The Dodgers' second baseman has collected 2 hits in the series. Foul at third. The Twins pitcher, Jim Cott, is a broadcaster, and not just as a hobby, professionally. Ball 1. Jim works in an area radio station. By area, I mean of the suburban Twin Cities. And not only broadcasts sports, but he also broadcasts news, does a few disc jockey shows. Strike 3. So at the end of an inning and a half, the score is the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing. On the general subject of baseball, a thought we'd like to pass along that concerns the attendance records that are being broken in baseball, the American cities boasting of new stadia made possible through baseball, the commissioner of baseball, and all those connected with the game. Salute the young men of the country who play the game, and all of those folks who make it possible for them to play. Bob Allison fouling off the first pitch here in the last of the 2nd. Allison has 2 hits in the series. One was a big one, a 2-run homer yesterday that put the Twins ahead 2-0. Check swing foul away, strike 2. Allison will be followed by Don Mincher and Frank Quillisi. Fouled away. The total paid attendance in the series so far, 313,730. Struck him out. Strikeout number 3 for Koufax, and with 1 down in the Twins' 2nd, the first baseman, Don Mincher, comes to the plate.
Don Mincher.
Mincher's had 3 hits, including a homer. Strike. Wide of third, Gilliam, Wills, Johnson giving chase, but it's just beyond their reach. Strike 2. Only very light shadows are being cast right now as the overcast is a bit heavier than it was at the start of the game. Mincher waiting on the changeup, fouls it back, strike 2. just below the knees, 1-2. Fastball high, 2-2. Strike 3. Well, that's 4 strikeouts now for Koufax, 3 in a row. And the batter is Quillisi. 3 hits, 17 trips. Last of the second, 2 out, none on, no score. Pop-up. Maury Wills calling. 1-2-3 inning. And so at the end of the second inning, the score is the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing. The duel of left-handers here in the 7th game of the series. The Dodgers had a mild threat in the first inning with 2 out and a runner on second. Lou Johnson's fly ball into shallow right was gathered in by Oliva on a tumbling catch to choke off that threat. Koufax walked 2 Twins in the first inning with 2 out, but struck out Batty to choke off that Twins scoring opportunity. And for the Dodgers, it's catcher John Roseboro leading off the 3rd inning, to be followed by Koufax, the pitcher, and Wills, the shortstop. Roseboro's had 5 hits in the series. He has knocked in 3 runs. Oliva, fair ball. Roseboro trying for 2, and the throw cut off. A leadoff double in the 3rd inning by Roseboro. So hit number 2 off Cott. And the pitcher, Koufax, comes to the plate. Koufax in the series has a base hit. 1 hit in 6 at-bats, and he knocked in a run with it. Twins immediately set the defense for the bunt. Mincher in tight at first. Killebrew will try to anchor at third if possible. Fouled back for strike 1. Cott has been rated since coming to the big leagues as one of the very best fielding pitchers in the league. And he won't hesitate if he thinks he has any chance at all in this situation. For example, if he fields a bunt, he won't hesitate to go to third if he thinks he can get the runner. One and one. Koufax giving no indication that time that he was going to bunt. And there'll be a check of signs after every pitch with third base coach Preston Gomez. Versailles holding Roseboro close at second. No outs here in the Dodger third. Crowd quiet. Outside. Ball 2. Versailles to the mound. Twins playing the center fielder Nossick shallow, the right fielder Oliva shallow. Ball 3. Ball 3 and strike 1 to Koufax. Roseboro leading at second. Three and 2. Now the Dodgers must make a decision. Is the bunt sign still off? Mincher has retreated several steps at first. Ball 4. There's the first walk. And Cott is in a 2-on, no-out jam in the third of a scoreless game.
Maury Wills.
And the batter will be Maury Wills. But before Wills comes to the plate, he's having a conference at the Dodger dugout with manager Walter Alston. The Twins, meanwhile, have warm-up activity in the bullpen. Wills, first time up, was called out on strikes. See where Versailles, the shortstop, is? Wills has a lot of space on the left side of the infield. Foul. Killebrew slipped as he went for that ball, but it was foul for strike one. Back to second, Roseboro. There's Al Worthington starting to throw in the Twins bullpen. He was the Twins' top reliever in the regular season. Foul back out of play. Strike two, and Wills must get a new bat. That one was sawed off. Roseboro led off this third inning with a double to right. Koufax, up to sacrifice, wound up with a walk. And with no outs, a strike two count to Maury Wills. Killebrew in one step at third. Foul back. Quilisi has one play, and that's the first. One away, and the runners move up. The batter, Gilliam, singled to left in the first inning. It was Gilliam's fifth hit of the series. The Twins play the infield up all the way around. Ball one. This is Jim Gilliam's sixth World Series. Foul, 1-1. If you like to look ahead, as every manager must, the on-deck batter is Willie Davis, and he bats left-handed. Low in the breaking ball. Good stop by Batty. Ball two, strike one. Worthington has been joined by the left-hander Jim Merritt in the Twins bullpen. Into shallow right, Oliva, and Roseboro will be held at third. And the ball gets beyond Batty, but Pott is there to back it up. Two down. Jim Cott doing what every alert pitcher does in a situation like that.
Number 3.
Back up the catcher. And so the Dodger runners are at second and third, but now with two down. And here's Willie Davis. Killebrew is in tight at third. Quillisi cheating up several steps at second. Everything else normal. Foul at first, strike one. No score. The Dodgers with runners at second and third, 2 out, third inning. Hot starting off Davis as he did in the first inning when Davis grounded out. Starting him out with a slow breaking pitch. Time called by the plate umpire. High with a fastball, 1-1. Koufax on second. Roseboro on third. This is the man Cott wants to get out. The next man is a right-handed batter, Lou Johnson. Earl Batty looking for it. And so, at the end of 2.5 innings, the score. The Dodgers nothing, the Twins nothing. This Sunday, NBC will present 3 regional American Football League games. The Buffalo Bills will face the Kansas City Chiefs. The San Diego Chargers will meet the Boston Patriots, and the Denver Broncos and the Houston Oilers meet at Denver. That's AFL football live, mostly in color, and exclusively on NBC. Check your local listings for the game and time in your city. Jim Cott starts it off with the Twins in the third inning. Cott, like Koufax, has 1 hit in the series. Cott, here's a single, knocked in 2 runs. Takes a strike from Koufax. Cott to be followed by Versailles and Nossig. High, 1-1. Cott is very fast, is used many times as a pinch runner by manager Sam Mealy of the Twins, and he likes to bunt for a base hit. Strike 2. The sun again breaking through. .60 degrees at game time, so it should be up around 65 before the mid-innings. 5 strikeouts for Koufax.
Number 2.
The Dodger left-hander has retired 5 Twins in a row, 4 by way of strikeouts, and here is Versailles, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Twins still looking for their first hit. Had 2 on in the first inning when Koufax walked Oliva and Killebrew with 2 out. Foul back, strike 1. Another foul back out of play, strike 2. Koufax so far has not been relying as much on the curveball, to my way of thinking, as he did his last time out. Base hit. Sandy, I think, got that one up where he didn't want to get it. And the Twins have hit number 1. With 1 away, here is Nossig. Grounded out short the first in the first inning. I think Sandy tried to turn that one over, but nothing happened. Nossig's had 4 hits in the series. Nossig going after the very high pitch, strike 1. second time in the game, Don Drysdale is up in the Dodger bullpen. Just off the outside edge, 1-1. Second time the big right-hander has heated up today. Versailles has led the Twins in stolen bases in the regular season, and the crowd here, aware of that, still chanting goal. Versailles has had 26 stolen bases in the season. Runner going. Safe. Look at it again. Now, meanwhile, there is a discussion involving the home plate umpire, Ed Hurley, the first base umpire, Tony Benson. Manager Sam Mealy has come out, and Versailles is being sent back to first. Could time have been called? That's a question I'm asking myself. Could interference have been called on the batter? Nossick took a cut at the pitch. Nossick has been called out. It's the second out of the inning on interference. It's a put-out credited to the catcher in baseball's scoring rules. Versailles has to return to first, and with 2 out, here is Tony Oliva. So you'll have to do what I'm doing right now. If you're keeping score, take that S off your scorecard for stolen base. The batter is Oliva, walked in the first inning. The pitch to Nossick was high and outside, and he went across the plate in the process of protecting the runner, and in the process was called for interference. No score, Twins batting in the third. 2 out, Versailles is on first. Foul back, strike 1. Oliva seldom walks. In the regular season, 576 at-bats, he walked only 55 times. There is the umpire's version of a strike zone, and there is Oliva's version. And they differ. If a pitcher were to take great pride in his control, he should have an opposing team of batsmen made up of all Olivas and Willie Davises. Willie Davis in the regular season, 14 walks and 558 at-bats. Speaking of Willie Davis, the Dodger center fielder is playing Oliva about 8 or 10 strides toward left. Strike 2. Billy Martin has something to say, the Twins' third base coach, to the plate umpire Ed Hurley and manager Sam Mealy. They're questioning Koufax's move to first, claiming he is not stopping. And come to think of it, this has been a rhubarb-free World Series. I can recall several plays at second base involving an attempted steal, one with Lou Johnson of the Dodgers, one with Sandy Valdespino of the Twins, but other than that and the several discussions today, it's been free of any heated arguments. runner going. Strikeout for Koufax. His 6th. And so at the end of the 3rd inning, the score, the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing. As we watch the best players in the game, we'd like to give a thought to the training grounds from where future major leaguers will come. And I guess there is no single training ground. Because of that, baseball must see to it that it contributes to the rapid growth which the game right now enjoys. And this is a responsibility which professional baseball in this country welcomes and respects. The announcement has been made to the crowd here as to the reason for Nossick being called out. And as you might expect, some scattered boos are directed generally toward the PA announcer and the umpire. In the Dodger 4th of this scoreless game, Lou Johnson is first man up. Ball 1. Johnson sent a fly ball into shallow right in the first inning with a runner on 2nd and 2 out. And Tony Oliva grabbed it on a tumbling catch. One and one. Hot has an effortless sort of emotion. Uh-oh. Near the foul pole. Home run. Lou Johnson has his 2nd home run of the World Series, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
Number 7, Ron Fairly.
Ron Fairly comes to the plate, fouled out to the catcher in the 2nd inning. Hit number 3 off top, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Near the right field corner, fair ball beyond Oliva. Fairly will hold up at 2nd. And the Dodgers hit the fastball for the homer, the off-speed pitch for the double. And hurry-up activity in the bullpen for the Twins on the part of Al Worthington. Walter Alston again has had a conference with one of his batters, this time with Wes Parker. The home run by Johnson, we are now told, actually hit the foul pole. Parker fouled out to Mincher, the first baseman, in the 2nd inning. The Dodgers could well be bunting. The Twins expect it. Fair ball over Mincher. Fairly around 3rd as the ball is fumbled by Oliva, and now Parker goes to 2nd. It's 2-0. With Mincher up, a routine hopper goes for a base hit, and an error is charged to Oliva, allowing Parker to go to 2nd. Parker gets an RBI, however, his 2nd of the series. Oliva appeared to catch his spikes in the turf as the ball fell behind him. Parker, noting it, immediately went to 2nd. So the Dodgers lead by 2-0. Harmon Killebrew talking with Koch. Mincher was at the edge of the grass, and as a result, Parker's bounder went for the base hit, and manager Sam Mealy comes to the mound. On only one occasion in this series did the team that scored first not win. That was in the first game when Ron Fairly homered, but the Twins went on to win the game. Since then, the team that scored first held on to win. And this will be all for Jim Kaat. The Twins lefty goes 3 innings plus, no outs here in the 4th inning, gives up 5 hits, 3 in a row here in the 4th inning. He walked 1 and struck out 2.
Number 15, Alan Worthington.
And Al Worthington is announced as the reliever for Cott here in the Dodger fourth inning. This will be the veteran right-hander's second appearance in the series, worked 2 innings and gave up 2 hits. But no runs were charged to him. In the regular season was the Twins' relief ace. Appeared in 62 games, won 10, lost 7, but more important, saved 14. And his earned run average was 2.14. He allowed only 57 hits in 80 1/3 innings. For those of you who might have taken your eye off your screen when Lou Johnson was up, it looked like he hit a low fastball. And it apparently hit the powerful Lansing Bull. And, of course, was a home run. So now Worthington comes on with the Dodgers leading 2-0. No outs in the fourth inning. The batter will be Trzaskowski, struck out in the second. To my knowledge, this is the earliest that Worthington has appeared in any game in 1965 for the Twins. But there are others available. Worthington throws the curveball. His fastball is actually a slider. He does not throw a straight ball, as they say. It's a natural slider, and he likes, in a situation like this, to sidearm the right-handed batter and try to hit that inside corner with the breaking ball. Again, the Twins are expecting a bunt. Strike. Versailles is behind the runner at second, Parker. Low, 1-1. Worthington on occasion throws the knuckler, but it's not a bread and butter pitch for him. Worthington grabs it, 1 away. That could have been quite a collision. Killebrew not fallen away at the last moment. The batter, Roseboro, doubled in the third inning when the Dodgers posed a big threat, but Cott pitched out of it. In the Twins bullpen, Johnny Clipstein and Jim Merritt are working. In the Twins' fourth inning, the 4, 5, and 6 batters are due. There's the young lefty Merritt and the right-hander Clipstein. 1 out and a Dodger runner at second. Low, ball 1. On deck is Koufax. Dodgers leading 2-0. This is the fourth inning. Ball 2. Roseboro has 6 hits in the series. Breaking ball low and inside, ball 3. Ball 4. Runners first and second. 1 out, and the batter is Wills.
32, Sandy Koufax.
I beg your pardon. The batter is Koufax, with Wills moving to the on-deck circle. Now Koufax up to bunt in the third with Roseboro in second. Wound up with a walk. The Dodger pitcher seeking to join the Twins' Jim Grant as a 2-game winner in the series. Worthington will go to first. Out there, the runners move up 2 down.
Number 30.
And now, Maury Wills. Wills called out on strikes in the first inning, grounded out second to first in the third, batting right-handed against the left-hander Cott. 2-0 lead for the Dodgers here in the fourth inning. The Twins use just about the same infield defense against Wills in this situation with runners on at second and third as they do with nobody on. Up tight at first and third, more than halfway at second and about halfway at short. Al Worthington trying to close the door on the Dodgers here. Ball 1. Nossick is playing shallow center and Allison shallow left. Foul off the breaking ball. 1-1. With Krasuski in the Dodger lineup at second instead of Lefebvre, only 3/4 of the Dodger infield are switch hitters. Foul. 1-2. Two and two, missing low and inside. That was Worthington's hard slider. Worthington wants a new ball. Third is Parker, 1 second Roseboro. Killebrew in foul territory. So the Dodgers are out, but score twice. And at the end of 3.5 innings, the score is the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing. Dean Martin welcomes this All-Star cast tonight at 10, 9 Central Time. George Goebel, Earl Bailey, the Serendipity Singers, and Dino, Desi, and Billy. The Dean Martin Show tonight in color on NBC. In the last of the fourth inning, for the Twins, Harmon Killebrew, Earl Batty, Bob Allison, as the Dodgers lead 2-0, Sandy Koufax on a one-hitter. Ball 1. Killebrew walked in the first inning. Foul back. 1-1. Killebrew has walked 6 times in the series, more than any other player. Ball 1 and strike 2. Koufax has 6 strikeouts. He has walked 2 and the only hit, a single by Versailles in the third. Low, 2-2. to the mound. One away.
Number 10.
Here's Earl Batty, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Outside, ball one. Koufax struck out 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Center fielder Willie Davis, 2 down.
Number 4.
Allison went down swinging in the second inning. Dodger outfield plays deep and to the left for Allison. Gilliam, a good play behind third. 1-2-3 inning. So at the end of the fourth inning, the score is the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing.
Jim Gilliam is the veteran player on the field. We asked him his feelings about the deciding game of the World Series. And he had nothing to say.
All right, then. Gilliam taking inside from Alan Worthington for ball one. Strike, 1-1. Choked off the Dodgers as the 2 runs are charged to the Twins starter, Jim Kaat. Low and inside, ball 2. The Dodgers with 5 hits, the Twins with 1. Gilliam will be followed by Davis, Willie Davis, and Lou Johnson. Big hop for the second baseman, Filicy, 1 away. Worthington is due to be the third Twin batter in the last half of this 5th inning. Here's Willie Davis. Hitless and 2 at-bats. Strike. Killebrew near the Dodger dugout. 2 down in the Dodger 5th inning.
Number 41.
The batter now is Lou Johnson. Retired on a fine running catch on his fly ball into shallow right in the first by Oliva, and leading off the 4th inning, hit a drive deep to left that glanced off the foul pole for a home run, his second of the series. He and Ron Fairley are the only players with 2 home runs. Just inside, ball 1. Breaking ball, 1-1. 2. Johnson homered 12 times in the regular season, knocked in 58 runs. In the series, 8 hits, 4 runs batted in. Into right center, Oliva. And so, at the end of 4.5 innings, the score is the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing. A look again at the catch made by Oliva. He gets a great jump on the ball and is, you've noted, I'm sure, extremely graceful. To carry you along the rest of the way, the voice of the Dodgers, Vin Scully.
Thank you, Ray. Don Mincher hitting the high pop fly back at third. Gilliam. 1 away. The totals through 4.5. The Dodgers 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. They have left 5. The Twins, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 error. They have left 3. Rich Rollins comes out on deck to bat after Frank Quillisi, so Alan Worthington will come out. Johnny Clipstein is down in the bullpen. Strike. Quillisi popped to short in the second inning. Frank 0 for 1. 1-1. Koufax, through 4 innings, does not have much of a curveball. He's been doing it with fastball up to here. Fastball missed. Two and 1. Hit into left center field. Johnson going back and over, and it's off the fence, bouncing high in the air. Johnson recovers. It's a double for Quillisi. Frank Quillisi hitting the left center field fence. The ball retrieved by Lou Johnson. And now Rich Rollins will bat for Alan Worthington.
For the Minnesota Twins, batting for the pitcher, Alan Worthington. Number 9, Rich Rollins.
Rollins is making his 3rd appearance as a pinch hitter in the World Series. Rich is 0 for 2. For Frank Quillisi, his 2nd double. He doubled against Drysdale the opening game. 1 out. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 5th. And Drysdale gets up again in the Dodger bullpen. There's Drysdale. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2. Tell you what, it must be like to pitch in the World Series. You realize that Jim Cott has been asked to pitch with 2 days rest, Koufax with 2 days rest, Jim Grant with 2 days rest. At Dodger Stadium, after winning, somebody asked Koufax, "How do you feel?" And he said, "Like I'm 100 years old." There's Frank Quillisi, second base. Right. All fastball. That's been his test. I think he has thrown 1 good curve for a strike. He threw it to Tony Oliva. Otherwise, fastball, fastball, fastball. He had 1 change-up to Bob Allison in the 4th inning. And Allison almost took the hands off Gilliam. 2-1. Fastball. 2-2. One out, bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Dodgers. Rich Rollins batting for Alan Worthington, who worked 2 innings. Walked one, did not allow a hit. Koufax is battling for his 6th World Series decision. He has won 3 and lost 2, like the number he wears. Curveball, and he missed with it, and he wanted it. That's the first curve he's thrown in quite some time, and oh, did he want it. Okay, 3-2. Big pitch, 3-2. Off the rubber. Another big crowd. And Roseboro talking now perhaps about changing their sign. For the runner at second base, and after 6 games in the series, Quillisi has a good shot at Roseboro. And sometimes they might very well switch signs right here and now. If Wills comes in from shortstop, I'd be almost sure they're switching signs. If he stays where he is, then no. Because if they're going to switch signs, the infielder has to know about it. But forget it, he didn't come in from short. The largest crowd of the series at Metropolitan Stadium here today, 50,596. 3-2 to Rick Rollins. 1 out. Quillisi at second. Ball 4. So Koufax is struggling. It's almost impossible to do it on one pitch in the big leagues, and he does not have a curveball. And Walter Alston going out. That is the 3rd walk issued by Koufax. He walked 2 in the first inning. Jim Kaat appeared to have pretty good stuff, but his control was off. Koufax appears to have only the fastball. Tough customer coming up with 2 on and 1 out. Zoilo Versalles, who struck out and singled. Versalles with 8 hits has been the big man in the Minnesota attack. Crowd with a chance to make some noise, and Zoilo Versalles comes up. Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. 1 out in the 5th, and the Twins trying to scrap back. On deck, Joe Nosek. Rollins at first, Quillisi at second. On a double and a walk with 1 out. Koufax checking with Roseboro. Gilliam guarding the line to cut down the chance of the extra base hit at third. Fastball, and he chased it. 0-1. Nothing Dodgers, bottom of the 5th, 1 on. The Twins with Frank Quillisi at second, Rich Rollins at first, and the count 0-1 is well overside. Fastball, 1-1. 1-2. He switched the pattern on Versailles. The first two pitches were very high. That one was down and away. But still all fastballs. That's really been his only pitch. Drysdale is pitching a ball game back of it. And you can bet that they are counting Drysdale's pitches in the bullpen. 1-2. Fouled away, another fastball. It was somewhat like yesterday where Jim Merritt pitched almost as much as Jim Grant in the first couple of innings. The Twins, when they took batting practice today, had a left-hander by the name of Sandy on the mound. Only his last name was Valdespino. Yep, he pitched batting practice. 1-2. Ground ball, backhanded by Gilliam to the bag for force. Oh, what a play. And that would have been a double and at least one run batted in, and we had better take another look at that one. Gilliam was guarding the line to cut down the chance of the extra base hit, and it turned out to be the play. Here it comes. He would not have had any other play except to go to the bag. 2 out, and Joe Nossick the batter. Ball 1, and he pressed that time. That's about the second time today that Koufax did not pitch, but he threw. He forced himself on that one. Nossick has grounded to short and was involved in the rare interference play and called out in the third inning. 2 out, 2 on, 2-0 Dodgers, fifth inning. Fastball low, and he's forcing a little. He's been high and low, and he's behind 2-0. Koufax extremely fortunate on that fine play by Gilliam to prevent a run, and it would have certainly put runners at second and third. Maybe even scored both of them. 2-0. Fastball hit to Wills, short way to Tracewski, and they're out of it. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, and at the end of 5, Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. This 1965 World Series game is being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC.
Number 27,
Johnny Klippstein comes out of the Minnesota bullpen. John at one time in the Dodger organization and eventually came back to them and pitched for the Dodgers briefly in the 1959 World Series. Now pitching for Minnesota against the Dodgers. Jim Cott went 3 innings. Little Wild had some pitches get up on him, and Cott in 3 innings allowed 2 runs and 5 hits. Alan Worthington, 2 fine innings in relief, allowed just a walk. Oliva making a nice play. And now Klippstein. For the Dodgers, Koufax has worked 5, and he had his bacon saved by Jim Gilliam. He made that great play to take an extra base hit, at least a double, away from Zoilo Versailles. So it's 2-0 Dodgers in the 6th. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They've left 5. The Twins, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They have left 5. Ron Fairley, Wes Parker, and Dick Tracewski in that order. Fairley popped out to Earl Batty and doubled to right in the 4th inning. Ron has 11 hits in the series, so he has caught Wills. High fly ball to left field. Allison there. Bob puts it away. 1 out.
number 28, Wes Parker.
Here is Wes Parker, who fouled out in the 2nd inning and then singled on that high bouncer over Minshew's head in the 4th inning. That was a big play. When the Twins hit in the bottom of the sixth, they have Oliva, Killebrew, and Batty. A bunt in the air, foul, back on the net. 1-1. Twins bullpen busy again. Right-hander Jim Perry begins to loosen up. There he is. The only 2 runs in the game. In the 4th inning, Lou Johnson homered, fairly doubled, and a bouncing single by Parker got him home. Changeup, I believe, hit the straightaway center and deep. Nossick going away back. Turns twice, can't get it at the fence. Parker, who runs exceptionally well, is on his way into third with a triple. They'll hold him there with only 1 out. But looked like a high changeup by Klippstein, and Parker hit it over Joe Nossick's head, 430 feet away for a triple.
Number 44, Dick Tracewski.
So Dick Tracewski, the batter. The Dodgers, in leaving 5 men on, twice have left runners at second and third. And the other man they left at second. Now they have Parker at third with 1 out. The infield is up. Strike. Johnny Klippstein trying to keep Parker away. Squeeze is fouled away. So the Dodgers trying to squeeze Parker home. Tracewski fouled it off. 0-2. Just missed with the fastball outside. 1-2. Fastball just low. Ed Hurley started to bring his right hand up and then slapped it to his side. Well, it was that close. 2-2. High with a breaking ball, ball 3. Tracewski has 2 hits in 15 at-bats. Johnny Klippstein, the 3rd Minnesota pitcher. Squeeze, and he fouled it away, struck out. Rare time to see them squeeze 3-2. And he fouled it off to strike out. So Parker goes back to third. And Tracewski strikes out.
Number 8.
2 down, and John Roseboro, the batter. Roseboro doubled and walked. We'll see if they pitch to him. They will not. So the intentional walk to Roseboro, and that will bring up Sandy Koufax. So the Dodgers tried to squeeze Parker twice, and Tracewski fouled it off each time. So West still at third with 2 outs. And Koufax will be coming up in a moment. Roseboro trots to first.
Number 32,
Parker at third.
Sandy Koufax.
And here's Sandy Koufax. Sandy has walked. Hit back to the box. 0 for 1. Roseboro at first, held on by Minchie. Good letter-high fastball. Old story, never change up on a pitcher. Fastball. 0-2. So the big play, Kasuski's inability to get the bunt down. Parker holding at third, Roseboro at first. 2 out, 0-2. Sandy Koufax. One and two. Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. The Twins no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Each side having left 5. Ball 2. Certainly the biggest play up to here. Gilliam taking an extra base hit away from Zoilo Versailles in the 5th. Two and two. Strike 3, and that'll do it. No runs a hit. The Dodgers lead 2. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. To see if we can't get Jim Gilliam's feelings about the 7th game of the World Series. Here's what he said before the game.
This is my 6th World Series, and I don't think this is the first time that we've been into 7 games. All I know, all you can do is do the best you possibly can.
Bottom of the 6th, and the big boys come up for the Twins. Tony Oliva, Armin Killebrew, and Earl Batty. And so far the question is, just how long can a pitcher go with one pitch? Koufax with his fastball.
Show him your batting shot.
Oliva walked in the first inning, struck out in the 3rd.
Come on, get it, Tony.
Ball 1. Koufax has allowed 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 6. The Twins were getting to him in the 5th, except for the great play by Gilliam. Look out for that pass. Into the Twins' dugout. Ray said earlier when Oliva was up at the plate, he didn't think Tony had lost the bat in the series. I tell you, that was a tape measure job, Ray.
Indeed it was. It's been really most fortunate that someone has not been injured this season by the flying bat of Oliva, player or fan. There have been some very narrow escapes.
No wonder they don't play him before. 1-1, Tony. Fastball in the dirt. Ball 2. Koufax, to my knowledge, has thrown 1 changeup to Bob Allison. Maybe a half a dozen curves, only 1 of those for a strike. Everything else fastball. Fastball fouled away, 2-2. American League batting champ, 2 years running, Tony Oliva. Foul back. Big crowd of 50,596 taking in the final game. Very high. 3-2. early diet of fastballs, and Koufax records his seventh strikeout.
Thomas Killebrew.
Sandy now has struck out 26 in this series. The record for the most strikeouts in one series belongs to that great right-hander of the Cardinals, Bob Gibson, who struck out 31 last year. Harmon Killebrew walked and hit back to the box. Here's Dave Boswell in the Minnesota bullpen. Ball one. Gilliam still guarding the line. Fastball and a high foul. Back at third down the line. Wills, Gilliam, and Johnson. And it's Johnson who almost ran over Bob Stewart, the left field umpire.
Number 10.
Had to go around Stewart and look out for the box seats. So nice play by Lou. 2 out. And here is Earl Batty. Earl struck out in the first inning. Fly deep to right center in the fourth. Line drive at Wills, and that'll do it. The Twins are out in order in the sixth, and at the end of 6, Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. In 1951, the National League president, Ford Frick, was named Commissioner of Baseball. And now, on this day in 1965, in an official capacity as Commissioner of Baseball, he takes in his final game. The Commissioner and the American and National Leagues would like to take this opportunity to thank the millions of fans who have made baseball the tremendous success it is. Seventh inning, 2-0 Dodgers.
Number 30, Maury
Wills, Gilliam, and Willie Davis. Interesting to note, considering that Koufax is pitching with 2 days rest, that the Twins went after the first pitch in the 6th inning. Oliva spent some time at the plate, but Killebrew fouled out and Bally lined out. Ball one. You wonder as the game progresses whether the Twins batters will make Koufax do a little more pitching. Bouncer over the mound to the left of Versailles. He's up with it at the bag and throws him out. Oh, what a nice play. What made it so great is not to get to the ball, but did you notice how quickly he got rid of the ball? One away, and here is Gilliam. Gilliam right now is the big man on that one play, backhanding what appeared to be a sense double hit by Zoilo Versailles in the 5th inning. And that has so far turned the game around. Strike. Jim as a batter has single, flied to right, and grounded out. Missed with a change, 1-1. One and one to the veteran. Seems strange after his great play, but this might be his last appearance in the series. Normally, late in the game, he gives way for defensive purposes. And isn't that ironic? Ball two. In the Dodger bullpen, the left-hander is Ron Karanowski, and the big right-hander is Johnny Purdon. Fastball hit into the hole, base hit to right field. So Gilliam, a single to right, with 1 out in the 7th, the Dodgers' 7th hit, and the batter, Willie Davis.
Number 3, Willie Davis.
Hit number 2 off Johnny Klippstein. Willie Davis has sacrificed and twice fouled out. He has 6 hits in 26 at-bats. Killebrew in on the grass. Mincher holding the bag on Gilliam. Fly ball down the left field line, slicing. Versailles and Allison in pursuit. It'll drop foul untouched. Gilliam back to first. 0-1 to Willie Davis. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They have left 7 men. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Twins. They have left 5. We're in the 7th inning. Willie checking with Preston Gomez. Johnny Klippstein, the third Minnesota pitcher. Jim Cott went 3, Alan Worthington 2, and now Johnny. Another foul. Down the line, out of play. 0-2. This might be Klippstein's last appearance. He is due to bat 4th when the Twins hit in the 7th. 1 out. Breaking ball missed. 1-2. In the dirt or hit him on the foot? On the foot. He's hit by the pitch to put runners at first and second. So Willie Davis goes to first, hit by the pitch. Gilliam to second, and with 1 out, Lou Johnson the batter. So Klippstein trying to throw a curve down and in and hit Willie Davis. Here's Lou Johnson, and he has really hit the ball hard. 2 of his 3 trips. He homered. Oliva made a fine running catch on him in the 5th inning, and Oliva made the scrambling catch and the little fly ball in the 1st inning. Fastball fouled away. Over for it is Mincher. No play. Johnny Klippstein has been pitching for a living a long, long time. Klippstein, who was born in Washington, D.C., began to pitch for dollars in 1944. John will be 38 in another couple of days. He looks about 28. Fastball hit slowly to Killebrew. Harmon has to go the long way, so everybody moves up 90 feet. Jim Gilliam to third, Willie Davis to second. 2 out, and Ron Fairley to batter. And we'll see whether they pitch to Fairley or not. In one of the bigger plays in this series, Alan Worthington was brought in relief with runners at second and third and pitched to Fairley. And he singled home 2 runs. And now Sam Mealy, I think, is going out to ask his pitcher how he would prefer to pitch. And that happens a lot. Or he can go to the bullpen and bring in a left-hander. Merritt, number 26, is coming in. So Sam was burned once. This time he'll go to the percentages. We told Sam this story because it was in the papers today, and if Mrs. Sam Mealy is listening, maybe she could use a smile, and I hope she'll smile with the rest of us. Red Smith, the syndicated New York columnist, had a line today in the paper which has been mentioned all over the town today, and the line goes this way. The Minnesota Twins and the Los Angeles Dodgers, like Mrs. Sam Mealy, have carried things too far. Here's Jim Merritt.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Twins. Now pitching. Number 26, Jim Merritt.
So Johnny Klipstein works an inning and 2/3, allowed 2 hits, hit a batter, struck out 1, and has not allowed a run. However, the men at second and third are his responsibilities. And the kid from the Dodger clubhouse back in 1961, now pitching against the Dodgers in the deciding game of the World Series, Jim Merritt. He and young Jim Lefevre were teammates on the Dodger rookie team in '61. He'll be pitching to Ron Fairley. And a reminder, while baseball is truly America's game, the interest in it is truly international. In addition to our armed forces around the world, this game, for instance, is being broadcast to an audience in Latin America estimated at over 20 million. Ron Fairley, who will be the batter, has popped up, doubled to right and flied to left. So Jim Merritt is ready. Jim making his second appearance in the series. Fairley has 11 hits in the series. Merritt worked 2 innings. Allowed 1 run. 4-1. Gilliam at third. Davis at second. 2 out. 2-0 Dodgers, 7th inning. Dodgers have left all kinds of men in scoring position today, which is a tribute to the Minnesota clutch pitching. Drive to right field, it's playable. The lever's there. They'll leave 2 more. No runs to hit, 2 left, and at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the Dodgers 2, the Twins nothing. A reminder, Chrysler presents a Bob Hope comedy special next Wednesday evening at 9, 8 Central Time. Guests include James Garner and We 5, with special attraction Carol Lawrence and special guest Phyllis Dillard. Bottom of the 7th, 2-0 Dodgers in a crowd of 50,000, having completed the 7th inning stretch. Bob Allison, Don Mincher, and Frank Quillisi. Allison has struck out and hit a changeup sharply at Gilliam in the 4th inning, so he's 0 for 2. Curveball hit to the hole. Wills a long throw to makes it. So that's one of the rare curveballs that he has thrown. 1 away.
Number 5, Don Mincher.
And again, that's another member of the Minnesota Twins hitting the first pitch against a pitcher working with 2 days rest. Mincher has struck out and fouled out, 0 for 2. Fastball. Another fastball, same spot, in on the hands. Well, we do not have the bit of irony we were talking about before. Jim Gilliam still at third base here in the 7th inning. Same spot, but missed this time. 1 and 2. 3 fastballs on the hands to Don Mincher. One and 2. Half swing, he held up. 2 and 2. Ground ball, foul, backhanded by Parker. So it's still 2 and 2 to Don Mincher. The Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. They have left 9 men in 7 innings. The Twins, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. They have left 5. The biggest single play in the game up to here. A great backhanded stop by Jim Gilliam of what appeared to be a cinch extra base hit by Zola Versailles with 2 on and 1 out in the 5th inning. Fouled away. So Mincher is making Koufax work. Allison hit the first pitch. Two and two. Fouled away. Two balls and two strikes to Don Mincher. High pop fly. Roseboro coming over. Parker coming down from first. It's Roseboro. Two out in the seventh inning, and Frank Quillacy the batter.
Number 11, Frank Quillacy.
And at this stage of the game, Quillacy will determine just how long Jim Merritt is going to pitch. If Quillacy makes out, Merritt pitches the eighth. If he gets aboard, they'll no doubt hit for the pitcher. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the seventh. Frank popped to short and then doubled off the left center field fence. He ripped it in the fifth inning. He appeared to be trying to take a shot to right field. Oh, 0-1 to Frank Quillacy. Curveball, a rare thing, fouled away to Billy Martin. Oh, and 2 to Quillacy. Ball one. Appeared to be a breaking ball. One and two. Another breaking ball for sure. So two high curves, and the count 2-2. Fastball got him. That's the pitch. Strikeout number 8. Twins are out in order, and at the end of 7 innings of play, the Dodgers 2, the Twins nothing. A reminder, this Saturday, NBC will telecast one of the top college football games of the year when undefeated Texas meets undefeated Arkansas in the NCAA Game of the Week. 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 3 Central Daylight Time, live and in color exclusively on NBC. Bunt foul to the plate, 0-1. A reminder, too, that before each college football game is the Bud Wilkinson NCAA preview show. Wes Parker is 2 for 3 today, fouled out, single to right, and triple to dead center. Twice he has reached third base, but he has been unable to get home. He has 7 hits and 22 at-bats. One hopper, up with it nicely is Quillacy to throw him out. Another nice defensive play. So Frank Quillacy short hopping on a ball hit to his glove side. 1 away. Dick Tracewski has struck out in the second inning, tried to sacrifice in the fourth, and popped up to Alan Worthington. Tried to squeeze twice in the sixth inning and eventually struck out. Killebrew throws him out. 2 out in the eighth. Johnny Roseboro, the batter. If you are not keeping score when the Twins come up in the bottom of the eighth, they'll have a hitter for Merritt, then Versailles and Nossick. Roseboro doubled to right and walked twice. Right. So John is 6 for 20. Oh, boy. Jimmy Merritt with a trunk full of stuff. 0-2. The Dodgers knew they had a dandy, but under the baseball law, there wasn't very much they could do about holding Merritt, and they lost him to the Twins. But they know a big one got away. Out of batter's middle. Still 1-2. Dodgers out in order, and he scored the end of 7.5 innings of play. The Dodgers 2, the Twins nothing. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-0 Dodgers. And Minnesota, with the Twins fans doing a little hand clapping music, trying to shake something loose. Sandy Valdespino will lead it off, batting for Jim Merritt.
Batting for the pitcher, Jim Merritt. Number 28, Sandy Valdespino.
Valdespino is 3 for 10 in the series. Right. Valdespino faced Sandy Koufax in Los Angeles and singled. As we mentioned, the Twins had their Sandy pitch batting practice. 0-2. Sandy leaning a little bit by way of first base. Not quite side-arming. Deviating from his direct over-the-top motion. Very high. Fastball got away, 2-2. High fly ball down the left field line and slicing. Johnson over the line and backhands it at the wall for the out. Nice play by Lou. The second time he's had to go down in the corner.
Number 2,
and here's the man who figured to be involved in the biggest play of the day because he has been the most electrifying of the Twins, Zoilo Versalles. He struck out in the first inning, singled in the third, apparently stole second, but was called back on interference. And then in the 5th inning, came up with runners at first and second and 1 out. Drilled one that was backhanded by Gilliam and turned into a force. Curve, ball 1. In the Dodger bullpen, Don Drysdale and Ron Peranoski. Fastball, 1-1. Joe Nosek on deck. Fastball bunted foul to Jim Lemon. 1-2. Boy, he could hit him out. 1-2 to Zoilo. Driven to deep left field. Johnson goes back to the track and makes the catch.
Number 24.
So Versalles goes out deep to Johnson. 2 out, and here is Joe Nosek. Nosek grounded to short in the first inning, then was involved on the interference call in the third, back of the attempted steal by Versalles. And then last time up, Joe hit into a force play. He has 4 hits and 19 trips. 0-1. Gilliam plays him in on the grass. and then wanders back a little. Fastball foul back. 1-1. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. What makes this series ending up on some kind of a high note, if Nossick makes out to end the inning, in the 9th inning, all the Twins have to come up, Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew, and Earl Batty. So don't go wandering off. Ball 2. The Dodgers in the 9th will have Koufax to lead it off, then Wills and Gilliam. Sandy has allowed 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. Ground ball to Wills. Up with it, over to Parker. So the Twins are out in the 8th, and the score at the end of 8 innings of play. The Dodgers 2, the Twins nothing. And so we're finally face to face with the 9th inning of the 7th game of the 1965 World Series. The totals through 8. The Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. They have left 9. The Twins, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. They have left 5. On the mound is Jim Perry, the 5th Minnesota pitcher. Jim Cott went 3 innings, allowed 2 runs and 5 hits. Alan Worthington went 2 innings without a hit or a run. Johnny Klipstein, an inning and 2/3, 2 hits and no run. And then Jim Merritt went 1 1/3. Now Jim Perry in the 9th. He will pitch to Sandy Koufax, Maury Wills, and Jim Gilliam.
Number 32.
Koufax getting a round of applause as he makes his way up to the plate. Sandy as a batter walked in the 3rd inning, hit back to the box in the 4th, struck out in the 6th. He has 1 hit in 8 at-bats, and the hit was good for a run batted in. Checked up, it'll cost a strike anyway. 0-2. Sitting here looking at the 9th inning, there's Dave Boswell loosening up in the bullpen. Boy, it's a long time from the first day of spring training, and it's all riding in the 9th. Down he goes. 1 out in the 9th, and Maury Wills the batter.
Number 30.
Struck out, grounded out twice, and fouled out. Maury 0 for 4. Jim Gilliam on deck. Strike. Same defensive setup for Wills. He must feel like Killebrew's dentist. He bunts anyway. Foul. 0-2. Well, Harmon now with 2 strikes. Goes back to the edge. Wills occasionally this year has tried to bunt with 2 strikes. One and 2. Sinking fastball down and away. Don't forget, bottom of the 9th inning for Minnesota, they have Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew, and Earl Batty. Two and 2. down all the way. Morey has 11 hits in the series. He is 11 for 30. 3 RBIs. Ball 4. So we'll see if Wills tries to do a little running now in the 9th inning.
Number 19, Jim Gilliam.
Morey has stolen 3 bases in the series. The Dodgers, as a team, have stolen 9 bases. The Twins have stolen 2. Jim Gilliam, 2 singles, flied to right, grounded out. And the coach who became a player again is a big man today. Wills goes. Pitch, a strike. The throw down, they get it. Frank Quillisi put the ball on him. John Flaherty of the American League. So 2 out in the 9th, 2-0 Dodgers, 0-1 the count to Gilliam. One and one. The Gilliam who was retired officially at the end of '64 and then brought back as a player in '65. One of the big reasons why the Dodgers are here at all. Ground ball to short. Versailles to Mincher, who just did pull the bag. And they're out 1-2-3. And the score at the end of 8.5 innings of play. Dodgers 2, Twins nothing.
A defensive change for the Dodgers in the last of the 9th. John Kennedy replaces Jim Gilliam, who came up with what might well have been a game-saving play for the Dodgers. Vin Scully is wending his way right now to the Dodger dressing room in anticipation of a possible series-winning celebration. But meanwhile, the man generally recognized as baseball's greatest pitcher, Sandy Koufax, in the last of the 9th, must face one of the fine hitters in the game, 2-time American League batting champion Tony Oliva, one of the premier long ball hitters in the game, Harmon Killebrew, and another long ball threat, Earl Batty. There goes the bat. Jim Lemon just escapes it. Down at first, it's a strike. Oliva today has walked and struck out twice. Koufax has struck out 8. He has retired 11 Twins in a row. The last Twin base runner was Rollins, pinch hitting in the 5th inning. Two runs, 7 hits, no errors, the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, the Twins. 50,596 looking on in person. This is a Metropolitan Stadium record crowd. In addition to all of you good folks joining us on television. The Dodger outfield is shaded to the left. High, 1-1. Koufax has shut out the Twins now through 17 innings. He shut out on Monday when he allowed only 4 hits, and through 8 innings today. But today it took a tremendous defensive play by Jim Gilliam. All in 2 strikes to Oliva. Kennedy, 1 out. 12 in a row retired by Koufax. Here is Killebrew. Walk in the 1st. Hit back to the mound in the 4th. Fouled out to Lou Johnson in the 6th on a fine play near the stands. Killebrew this year hit 25 home runs. He missed 7 weeks of the season. In the dirt, ball 1. The Dodger outfield is deep and around to the left. The Twins have left 5 on. None since the 5th inning. Strike, 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. There is continuous activity in the Dodger bullpen. Killebrew is on with 1 out in the last of the 9th. Hit number 3. The batter, Earl Batty. He has struck out, flied out deep to center, and lined out to the shortstop. To the mound, second baseman Dick Krasuski. Kennedy is practically astride the line at third. The Dodgers will give up anything in the hole. They do not want to give up a possible extra base hit down the line. Strike 1. Way back there is Kennedy. Strike 2. On deck is Bob Allison. 2-0 the Dodgers. It's the last of the 9th. Killebrew is on first with 1 out. Strike 3. Batty caught looking. 9 strikeouts for Koufax.
Number 4, Bob Allison.
And now the pressure is squarely on Bob Allison. He has struck out and grounded out twice. Yesterday, he hit a 2-run homer. Outfield is deep and shaded to the left. Foul back. Strike 1. The wind is blowing gently to left at about 10 miles an hour. 1-1. On deck is a left-handed batter, Don Mincher. Just about every honor that a pitcher can receive has come to Sandy Koufax. Ball 2, 2-1. Koufax reaching back. And so far today, every time he has had to reach back, he has found what he needed. Twins third base coach Billy Martin facing. Ball 2, strike 2, 2 out. Killebrew on first. Dodgers leading 2-0. A step off. did it. Sandy Koufax gets his 10th strikeout, his second consecutive shutout of the Twins. On Monday on a 4-hitter, today on a 3-hitter. Every pitcher, of course, likes to finish a game with a strikeout. This was, of course, not a game. This was the 7th game of the World Series. And the totals for the Dodgers: 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. For the Minnesota Twins, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. And so the two teams, picked by practically no one to be playing in the World Series, carry it down through 7. And the Dodgers have won the 1965 World Series. Koufax is the winner. In this series, he has won 2 and lost 1. He scored the 1 shutout in Dodger Stadium, where every pitcher likes to pitch, and the shutout today in Metropolitan Stadium, where very few pitchers like to pitch. Jim Cott, the loser, worked 3 innings, was followed by Al Worthington, Johnny Klipstein, Jim Merritt, and Jim Perry. Koufax won it, Cott lost it. As these same 2 pitchers duel for the 3rd time in the World Series. As it turned out, Lou Johnson's home run in the 4th inning was the only run that Koufax needed, but they scored another in the same inning, and a double by Fairley, and a bouncing single over first into right field by Wes Parker. So the Dodgers are the world champions, defeating the Twins in this final game by a score of 2-0. And right now, to wind up this 1965 World Series telecast, let's switch our cameras to pick up Vin Scully and some of the victorious Los Angeles Dodgers. So take over, Vin.
Needless to say, this is the dressing room of the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. And this is Vin Scully high atop the safety of a trunk, hoping to bring to you some of the men who brought Los Angeles another championship. In 1959, the Dodgers brought the championship to Los Angeles. In 1963, the Dodgers brought the championship to Los Angeles. And in 1965, they have done it again. We will meet some of those men just as soon as, let's say a little calm prevails. One of the toughest parts of the World Series was played right here in the dressing room. And maybe next time we'll have a camera here, as Jim Gilliam, who was so important in the victory, sat and watched the 9th inning on television. But here's the fella who gave the Dodgers the championship. Sandy, in Los Angeles, when you pitched your 7-0 shutout, you were quoted as saying after the game, "I feel 100 years old." So today, how do you feel?
101.
101.
I feel great, Vinny. I know I don't have to go out there anymore for about 4 months.
Sandy, it appeared from upstairs that your fastball was really your only pitch for quite some time.
Yes, it was. I don't know what it was today. I didn't have the curveball at all, and I wasn't getting it over, and I just stayed with the fastball and tried to get it in pretty good spots, and when I got the lead, I tried to keep him from pulling the ball if I could.
When Jim Gilliam sat here in the 9th inning and watched you on television, he turned and said to me, he looks like a fighter who has been hit and is now fighting on instinct. Is that over-dramatizing, or were you that tired?
No, I'll tell you, I feel like I was a little bit more tired in the last ball game I pitched here, and I know I was more tired the day we won the pennant against Milwaukee, but I think it was a lot hotter in Los Angeles, and the cool weather keeps you from tiring a little bit. I felt like my fastball the last 3 or 4 innings was as good or better than it was early in the ball game, which I really didn't expect on 2 days rest. I figured by the end of the ball game I'd have to go to the curveball.
Most veteran newspapermen around the ballpark were watching to see when you and Drysdale arrived which of the two had already shaved, because it's traditional that the pitcher with the beard is going to pitch. But you and Drysdale both came in unshaven. When did you find out you were going to pitch today?
Well, I found out when we got here. That's why neither of us were shaved.
Well, you didn't know until you got here?
No.
Now, tell me when you found out. Was it in front of the entire club?
Yeah.
Did the manager go over or what?
Yeah, Walt had a meeting, and he said that he thought he'd like to start the left-hander, and he had a reason for it. He said, if I have to make a switch, I'd rather go left, right, left, talking about Peranowski as his last man if he had to make 2 moves, then start the right-hander and go left, left. You don't change their lineup any when you do that.
Let's see. You've had 4 no-hitters, a perfect game. You have struck out 18. You have a World Series record of 15 in 1 game. Where does this one fit in as far as thrills are concerned?
I don't know, Vinny. This has got to be as high as any of them. This whole year was a thrill. We were a ball club that everybody said was going to finish 5th, and we lost Tommy Davis. They thought we were going to finish 8th. And we went on to win a pennant, and everybody did such a great job. Lou Johnson, who hit the home run today, he came up when Tommy got hurt and did a great job and carried us for the first 10 days to 2 weeks he was here. And I think that got us over the hump. Without Lou coming up and doing that great job right then, I think the whole ball club probably would have sagged a little bit.
Sandy, thank you so very much. And now go on back and sit down and relax a little while.
Thank you, Vinny.
Sandy Koufax, the man who hit the home run, who hit 2 home runs in the series, who was called way out by his teammates, way out Lou Johnson.
You're the greatest, Sandy. You're the greatest, baby.
Lou, did you know your home run hit the foul pole?
Well, I made my turn, Vinny, and as you know, momentarily I stayed at home plate to see whether the ball was going out. I knew it was hit good enough, but it was hooking so quick. And when I got to first base, I saw it bounce back, and then I knew no one had thrown it back in.
You know, you're a living storybook. You have played on 18 teams in 13 years. Were there times when you were going to quit?
That's true. It was this year, Vinny. This was going to be my last year if I hadn't got a chance to play in the major league. And I finally got a shot. I had a little luck. I capitalized on it, and here we are today, the world champions. And it's great, Vinny. It is really great. Actually, I want to cry, but it won't come out.
No,
I'm so happy.
Well, you just keep it in there because there'll be all laughter in here.
Okay, then I want to say one thing. I called my mother before the game. It was the first time I ever done that, call her before a game. So she sent a prayer up for me. My family, I know they all was pulling for me. My wife and the kids. So this is it.
It was such a long time coming. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now go on over and savor that victory.
Okay, then.
Lou Johnson, who hit the home run. There are so many, of course. We can see Don Drysdale over by the table. And right here, the president of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mr. Walter O'Malley. And where does this one fit in? You are now the president of a club that has been the champions 4 times, once in Brooklyn, 3 times in Los Angeles. How does this one rate?
Just wonderful. Another Elsa one, Vinny. You never know what's going to happen with these boys. I wish it could have been finished in Los Angeles so all our wonderful fans out there could have been in on the end of it. But they got the picture. It was a great series. We're very proud of our manager, our team, and Buzzy, and you, Vinny, and Jerry, too. All the best.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Malley. Let's meet the head of the Dodgers, the man who sat quietly along. Well, before that, we'll have the president of the National League, Mr. Warren Giles. Mr. Giles?
Oh, it was great. Just great. I can't say too much about it. Just
well,
wonderful.
It was typical, I guess, of the way the Dodgers have played all year, that the tying run was at the plate.
Oh, dear, it worried me. I tell you, I was shaking all during the ball game.
It was that kind of a pennant race.
Great.
Congratulations to you, sir, and to your league.
Oh, it was great. We were so glad to have a team and an organization like the Dodgers representing us in a great series.
Thank you. Well, I know one man who kept his outward calm anyway, and that is the manager of the world champion Dodgers. You have managed 4 champions, and you indeed deserve a round of applause, and you're getting it, and congratulations, Walter.
Thank you, Vinny. This was a tough one, and that other club out there is pretty good, too. They came within a very short 2 runs of maybe tying us or winning us, and they've got a great ball club over here, and makes us very happy to win, of course, but I think you got to give the other club a lot of credit.
Walter, you went out to the mound once in the game to talk to Koufax. Did the thought enter your mind to lift him?
I thought that Sandy was strong and good all the way through. I had no intention of taking him out when I went out there. I just wanted to be sure that he wasn't trying to reach back and get a little extra. He was in a little trouble, and sometimes pitchers want to reach back and get a little extra, and that's when they become high and hang the curveball. And I just more or less said to him, well, just be a pitcher normal way, and we'll be all right.
You had a tremendous decision to make. Should you pitch Sandy Koufax or should you pitch Don Drysdale? You've already explained the thinking behind it, but how long did it actually take you to make the decision, really?
Benny, this is, as I said before the game, this is one of the toughest decisions I've made all year, maybe even in my baseball history, but either way I went, I had a pretty good chance of being right, and I'm glad that Sandy pitched a great game. Don pitched 9 innings in the bullpen. He was ready in every inning, but we didn't have to use it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that's the story. Needless to say, they're wild, ecstatic, euphoric, you name it, in the world champion Dodger dressing room. Now, let's go up to the quiet of the booth.
Right, Vin, and it is a quiet booth here at Metropolitan Stadium as the folks slowly leave this ballpark on a day that the weatherman dictated would be a very beautiful day for baseball. A dramatic World Series, and in particular a dramatic seventh game. For all of us here with NBC to send the game to you good folks, we'd like to say our special thanks from NBC Sports to the Commissioner of Baseball, Mr. Ford Frick, to the league presidents, Joe Cronin, President of the American League, to Warren Giles, the President of the National League, to the President of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mr. Walter O'Malley, to his General Manager, Buzzy Bavasi, and to the President of the Minnesota Twins, Mr. Calvin Griffith. We thank all of these good folks for their wonderful cooperation. We tell you this game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is similarly prohibited unless authorized in writing by the Commissioner. Well, folks, the 1965 World Series is over. But remember, on New Year's Day, it'll be the 1966 Rose Bowl game exclusively on NBC.